We have some breaking news. Tulsi Gabbard has officially hit 130,000 donations, people. 130K. Total, she has 138,000, which means the night of the night of the debate, she had around 109, 110,000 donations. Right now, she has 138,000, which means she's roughly hit 18, 19,000 donations in 24 hours. That's insane. She's gotten over 60 or 70,000 followers on Twitter since. She's, appeared on MSNBC, Fox News, like Tucker Carlson, independent media. She's coming on our show next week. Like, she's killing it. And it's only going to get better. She's only going to have more FaceTime. She brings the ratings. The white suit's probably what got her to 20,000 donations. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it was that exchange with Kamala. The white was too fire. I think that's what really brought people into the fold. But in all seriousness, people, this is a huge achievement. In January, people said nobody would care about her. She has no chance. She has to take Bernie's lane, right? Which is weird because nobody says that about Kamala. But people say Tulsi she just needs to sit back and capitulate. Do what she's told. Everybody should just get behind one candidate or the other, and that's who we should be concentrating on. Well, I'm a fan of democracy, first of all. I'm also an avid advocate for peace. Tulsi is the peace candidate. Tulsi will meet with who she has to meet with in order to maintain that peace. Tulsi has her own lane. She's built a coalition of the left, the right, and everything in between. Populists, libertarians. And said, look, I don't know what they're selling you, but if we don't get this military-industrial complex squared away, if we don't deal with climate change and the environment with the OFF Act, if we don't deal with election integrity with the Securing America's Elections Act, if we don't stop funding terrorism, we can never stop it, which is why she has the Stop Arming Terrorists Act, Stop Funding Terrorism Act. If we stop allowing the president to unilaterally make decisions with how our military operates, which is why she introduced the No More Presidential Wars Act. None of the things that we want from any of the other candidates is possible. We've seen what happens when you have anybody who's okay on domestic policy or even great like FDR on domestic policy. And you don't have control over your foreign policy and its corporations. If you capitulate to the military intelligence community, which she also calls out. You end up thinking, okay, we're good domestically. Okay, things are working out. And then, oh yeah, by the way, your corporations, by the way, are funding the Nazis right now. We're about to get into another war because of it. That's what happens when you don't acknowledge the realities of the system that we're dealing with, like Tulsi Gabbard has done. And people can see that. That's why she has 138,000. Because once you see her and you look at her policies, you're like, oh, this is a no-brainer. You look at her videos, no-brainer. But people have been saying she can't win. People have been saying she can't get the 130,000. But we did it. She did it. She's been held accountable to her supporters. Anytime that she's done something that they have questioned, even if we don't always agree with it, she addresses her to supporters directly. She never runs from the questions. She never runs from her base. Because when she's holding other leaders accountable, she's expecting us to do the same thing, and she respects the fact that we hold her. Her supporters hold her to a real standard. There are a lot of people that hold her to a double standard. You can blame it on a lot of things. But they do, and she's overcome all of that. So now what we need to do is spread her message. She needs 2% in the polls to win, or to get into the next debate. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to see her destroy Kamala again? Resurrect her, bring her back to life, only to put her back in the dirt, or at least put her career back in the dirt. I would love to see that. Hey, like I said, we said January. Anybody who's not new to this channel, anybody who's been on the channel, I've said how many times, Tulsi is going to be the number one search candidate after her first debate. Happened again. It happened. And then I said, but this is going to be the first time. It's going to happen again. Because I said that time that wasn't even her best performance. That was actually an underwhelming performance by her standards. And guess what? Even this debate was better than the last debate and still an underwhelming performance by her standards. She can do better. And she is going to do better. She's fighting for a country, a movement that has nothing left to lose. Personally, for her career, she's done about everything she can do besides being president, because she's not going to get the positions that the Democratic establishment offer their friends and their families. There's nothing left. She can be Congresswoman of Hawaii forever after this if she loses and run again. But right now is where we need this change. Right now is we need somebody who can say, no, we're not going to Venezuela, period. We're not going to attack leaders as war criminals and dictators. Well, one, when there's no evidence that shows that other than the evidence our country propagates. But two, how are we ever going to have a chance at peace if we go in there lobbing attacks and rhetorical assaults on the leaders we're trying to supposedly achieve peace with? It's common sense, people. So this is a massive victory. 138,000 donors, more than almost everybody else individually. On top of that, she has a very unique base. On top of that, only 6 candidates I can think of qualified via donors already. Bernie, Elizabeth, Kamala, Joe Biden, Yang, and I think Kirsten Gillibrand, or Booker maybe. I don't think Booker's qualified with 138,000 yet. So it's one of them two. It's either Booker or Gillibrand. But Tulsi's the only other one who's qualified via individual donations, and they keep trying to tell you she's at 1%. Think about that. Is she really at 1%? Because Yang is at 5% in a lot of polls. Marianne Williamson is on a lot of their tails too. So 4 anti-establishment populist candidates, Bernie, Tulsi, Marianne Williamson, and Yang, are all going to have more donors than the establishment, who just absolutely knew they were going to have enough to be on the same debate stage as the other establishment candidates. Let you know that we are in a sharp transition, and it is amazing to me to see that traditional thought is finally being, like, the traditional methods of and goings on of politics are finally being challenged. And we're going to have 4 non-traditional thinkers on that debate stage if things keep going the way it's looking. But Tulsi needs that 2% by August the 26th. So go spread that message right now. Keep donating, but keep spreading that message. We're going to be doing a lot of Tulsi videos here. We're going to do our Bernie videos as well. We're going to cover Yangs and the Marianne Williamsons of the world. But it is imperative that Tulsi makes that 3rd debate. And we know what they just did to Mike Gravel. We saw what they just did. We cannot allow them to do it to Tulsi Gabbard. So we have to get more real. Tulsi has to get way more controversial. And if we continue down the path that we're on, she'll get on that debate stage. People. But it's up to us too, not just her.